Miami, 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 Miami. It feels like Miami.
Welcome to the Miami Heat PostGame show, live on a Sunday on an NFL time. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas, and with me today, Franky G.
Process that.
Franky, another win, another road win against a team that people think is better than Miami. Another Norman Powell game where he scores 1,000,000 points and makes me look like an idiot for suggesting they traded for a first-round pick. Has Kel'el Ware turned a corner? The Heat zone with Bam. What's that? So much to get to. Franky, is this their best road win of the season?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Off the top of the head, I feel like the Clippers was more of a statement win.
But they're bad. I think but Kawhi played, but they have not looked good.
No. But I felt like that was a game that I had circled to see how they would respond to that kind of physicality and stuff.
And they lost two prior. They lost against the Lakers, and they lost, and that really saved the road trip.
Right.
And the Spurs before that.
Right. It's tough because they faced so many of the, you can only play who's in front of you, but they faced a lot of these teams banged up a little bit today. Philly didn't have Edgecombe, Moose's boy.
And Miami didn't have Wiggins.
Very starter and still missing Tyler. But so far, you can definitely make a case there.
I think it's between this game, Chicago and the Clippers. And I would say this game because I think that Philly is a little better than Chicago. Although Chicago did beat Denver recently, and we did talk about that in the post game. And I thought Miami without Wiggins on the road, and I even thought that Bam didn't give them the best game ever, right? So I think all those circumstances, but they haven't beat a good team on the road. And in their defense, they haven't played many tough teams on the road. They played at Denver, and that game they were in, Bam got hurt. They lost to the Lakers, and they were pretty close against the Spurs. Mm-hmm. And that game, could have gone either way, I think. And then they lost the opener against the Magic. And
they also lost at New York.
New York, yeah.
And that one I felt like they could have had.
They've been in a lot of these road.
Yeah.
They've been in, and that's why. Other than the Laker game, I never really felt that they were going to win the Laker game.
Right.
But every other, and even the Denver game, I didn't think they were going to win. But fuck, they were in that game, and I think that they are. I think it's nice to see a team that's building, and I think that they're going to get over that hump to beat a really, really good team on the road, and I'm really excited for that opportunity. And I think a big reason why they're going to get over that hump is Kel'el Ware. And Franky, we have been hard on him. This show has been hard on him. I think people on Twitter have been hard on him. But let me fucking say something. That guy, I feel, has turned a real corner. I think he's fulfilling the prophecy that we wanted Hassan Whiteside to be. I think he has the size. With the attitude and the effort, he has touch. He has a little bit of shooting. He provides a lot for them. He can be more defensively, and I think that he's kind of coming into that maybe maximized Hassan Whiteside potential that we never quite saw. And I, for one, am like blown away by just what he's giving them on both ends of the floor, particularly on offense and particularly on the boards. Finished today 20-6 fucking teen. Was 2 for 2 from 3. Got to the line 5 times. 8, and I mean 8 offensive rebounds. I bet you that they went through stretches last season where they didn't get 8 offensive rebounds in a whole week. Franky, he's been huge.
No, huge, literally. And you didn't even mention the plus 26 in 26 minutes. Team high. Nobody else was above a plus 12. Like he was great. I think that UD Tech's like really, zero turnovers as well, which I'm not super concerned about with him because he's not really in a playmaking or driving position. He's usually around the basket or trailing and good spots to be utilized for his skill set right now. But no, his activity was great. I mentioned this on Twitter, but I was disappointed. Like, I know they have a game in a day and a half, but like, let him close the game, man. Like, look, I love Pell, but Pell did not have a great shooting game whatsoever. 2 for 13. He gives you a lot. I think Ware deserves to close some of these games out. And I think you need to see what that looks like at some point this season. Spo always defaults to the small lineup, but Ware deserves a chance to close. And I thought he made a statement tonight. 26 minutes doing that efficiently. They're doing a great job staggering him and Bam. So they each don't get beat up during the course of this long season with all these injuries and this pace and everything. But I think his activity, his effort, his discipline, and his care, honestly, like, everything has been about the team and busting his ass, and he's done everything they've asked to do of him. He's stacking the days, which has been asked of him, which we've asked of him, which the coaching staff, his teammates have asked of him. He's doing that. Now you got to give him a little bit more. And I thought today should have been the time, and I can't wait for them to explore that. He's deserved that. He's been amazing.
He's been incredible. And one of the things, and by the way, you did mention the 26 minutes today. I mean, 20 and 16 in 26 minutes is pretty remarkable. Had the lowest minute total of all, like, I would say, call the impact players: Hawkes, Mitchell, Powell, Bam, Larson. All those guys played more minutes than him. Norm was the second closest to him at 29 minutes, which, given his groin injury, I think it's good to keep him on the lighter side of the minute load, especially if he's going to score 32 and 29 fucking minutes. I mean, over a point a minute, you got to love that. And you have a lot of young guys. I mean, Larson playing 32, Hawkes playing 33 minutes, Davion playing 30 minutes. Fellas, that's what we wanted. But more on Ware, Frankie. I think his vertical spacing has been so important. The vertical positioning within the flow of the offense, I think, has been one of the most important kind of developments this season. He doesn't need to be in pick and roll to get lobs. He doesn't need to be in pick and roll to establish that airspace. And I think that I think that's something we've seen in real time him figure out. I think early we saw him in the dunker spot some, and I think he's still getting his stuff there. I mean, he had that lob from Larson the other night, and tonight he got another one. But I just think he's running the lanes in transition. He's in the right spots. He's figured something out. And I think with and without Bam on the floor, which I think is important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was one play which really stood out to me where he ran lane, filled the dunker spot. The actions on the other side. Pell has the ball, and Ware is calling out to Pell to pass the ball, skip it to the weak side corner because Norm's there, and Ware seals the guy there, and that's an unselfish play. That play is not going to show up in the box score, but he's playing for the team right there, and I believe Norm got free throws on that one. Because of the hard closeout. But like plays like that, like those are plays where Spo's emphasizing and the coaching staff and the players are emphasizing where he needs to care about those plays. Those are winning plays, and he is doing that. He's finding his spots, like you said, not just pick and roll. He's his transition trailing threes, which we know he loves. He knocked those down tonight. Just the activity on the offensive boards when he misses, he's battling and scrapping up there. Yeah. And that's energy. That's effort that gets the rest of his team fired up. And because they see the big guy carrying and playing that hard and trying to leave his mark. And he's stamped it. He's stamped his mark so far.
I'm just so impressed. And I want to give him the flowers where they're due because he, I think when we're hard on a guy, I think we need to be equally positive when they show it. Chat says, "Gee, I thought you had double chains on," and somebody corrects, just double chins. So shout out to chat for always keeping me honest. I've lost a little weight. You chill. I've lost like 4 or 5 pounds already.
Hell yeah.
You just wait, chat. I'm so the culture's back, baby. The culture's back. Frankie, I love that he only took 2 threes. I love that he only took 2 threes today. Yeah. I think he can get. There was a possession when he got an offensive rebound, kind of like a long one, and got to the right wing, and he wanted to go up for the 3 and didn't. and gave the ball to Drew Smith, who ran a pick and roll with Jaquez, and they scored. And we'll talk about that pick and roll later. But that maturity to me is like playing within himself.
Mm-hmm.
The threes he took made them both. We're in rhythm. We're trailers. We're like, I think that decision tree for him has improved a lot as well. He's putting the decision making together, and that is feeding into maybe his effort is what's feeding into his decision making. I don't know what's coming first, the chicken or the egg here, but all those things together, they're feeding into each other to become extremely positive. I think he's been really solid on defense too, which, I think that's going to be the thing that's going to come along more. And that's going to be certainly questions that they're going to have in big games. And I understand why they didn't close with him today, because I think they were more comfortable with Larson, especially they went to the zone with Bam in the middle. And we'll talk about that zone later, but I understood defensively why they didn't do it. And clearly it was the right decision. I'm not mad that they played a young guy instead of another young guy, because it's not like they had, an older vet instead of him or whatever. So I'm okay if we're choosing between the young guys, but I do agree with you in there. But all in all, just man, what a night for him. What an afternoon for him.
Yeah, my point is more so that you have to play them together. Like you drafted Ware that high, and you obviously have a financial and team impact and investment in Bam. Like you should play them more together to see what's the issue. Like what are the, like Spocess talked about earlier about the adjustments for when Jaime was getting guarded by big men, and he wants to see those adjustments so they can come up with counters. Like that's an element you want to have in the playoffs is to be able to go to that big lineup to close games. And I feel they've been better. Well, I think we'll talk about this some other time, but I really like the bigs with the two bigs with Davion and Powell and Norm. This starting lineup a lot more than when Wiggs was in there. I think Wiggs has just been kind of an issue fitting offensively. Like he just doesn't, his skill set doesn't really match what they're trying to do offensively.
He helps them defensively a lot, though.
Yes, he does, because they don't have that size on the wing spot that he can provide, and he's the best they have at this point. But to your other points, yeah, I think what they're what they need to do is continue to tinker and involve. Like we saw early on in the season, the first couple of games, like Bam really struggled, for example, and he's kind of like he was really finding his groove. But right before the injury, Ware struggled at times as well. Like guys just because this is a new offense doesn't mean like it fits everybody right away. Jaime had just hit a roadblock the last few games. We talked about this the other night.
I thought he responded really well today.
He did. He had a really, fantastic really start tonight. Had some moments there, but he was extremely impactful.
Another 7 assist game. Another 7 assist game. By the way,
10
Franky,
for 12.
Yeah, no, just
great,
outrageous. Really quick to your point on Pell versus Wiggins. Pell Larson, I did not know this, shooting 39% from three this year.
Yeah,
I mean, and he struggled today, but 39%. Makes a lot of sense. And Hero's going to come into the lineup. Somebody in chat says, there's going to be a lot of minutes competition right now with Hero coming back in the lineup and Jovic too. I mean, at some point Jovic will return.
Right.
So we're gonna have some very interesting questions coming up on their rotation. But I think one thing's for certain, that Ware needs to find some closing minutes, see how that works. And I think we're all in agreement there.
Yeah, for sure. And it wasn't a shot at Pell at all. Like I love his game. What he, on an off night, Pell had 6.7 rebounds, 8 assists. Like even though he didn't shoot the ball, he impacted, played great defensively. It was still +9.
So good at closeouts, by the way. Like when they attack his closeout, I think that's been like the big development with his game this year. It's been so good.
And I think with the offense, with the pace, like last year, because they were so limited in possessions, they were shooting 74 shots in a game. A 2 for 13 night from a role player, you really feel that. But because you're getting so many more shots at the basket, shots within the flow of the game, you can survive a couple guys having on off night. Simone has struggled recently, went 2 for 8 tonight, but they got 98 shot attempts. They got 30 free throw attempts. Like that's how you build on this. And you can survive guys being inefficient through that because you play defense, you run, you share the ball, They had a 32 assists to 13 turnovers. That's a pretty
And
strong
late,
ratio.
they picked up a few kind of
Yeah.
silly ones, but like throughout the flow of the game, they were.
Yeah, and it's nobody like dominating the ball either. Like they're sharing the ball, they're getting off ball really quick. They're playing defense and moving it, and it's moving the ball side to side. Siobhan and I were discussing how that really stresses the defense out, and that's not something they really did last year. The ball would stick often on one side, and it was grinding out. It was like pulling like blood out of a stone. Like it was ugly to watch and hard to watch. And now it's just really fruitful how everyone can get in. Everyone is involved in the offense.
The thing with the offense too is that I think it doesn't let anybody be ball dominant because it's so drive and kick heavy. It's so attack closeout heavy. You're not pounding the ball, waiting. You're not matchup hunting, right? And I think that's what can be really slow and really kind of lean to ball dominant, right? Where you're trying to find the right matchup, you're trying to find the right angles and spots, where this new offense is not about that. And it's going to be interesting to see kind of Hero come back, because I think normally, guard dominant offense could tend to be that way. But listen, another game where they scored 127 points. Does that lower their average for scoring? Like,
I don't know.
It's been that crazy. Well, I'm trying to find. I know Anthony tweeted about it. And that's around their average. So it's just pretty. I don't know. It's pretty insane. All the stuff that they do. Let's get into
real quick, just to talk about something Nikias tweeted. He came into the game first in the half court defense in the league, 7th and half court offense. They moved up to 6th offense after the game as of right now.
Their half court offense tonight, 105 offensive rating, held Philly to 88 offensive rating. The defensive rating of 88 in the half court, and an offensive 105 in the half court, which is again, 35% offensive rebound rate.
Which I think is a big factor in why their offense is so good, is because they're elite defensively. With Bam's in the lineup, they're elite defensively, and that lets them run and lets them be comfortable. When the struggles, they won games when Bam was gone, but I think part of that was also the schedule. Getting Charlotte and guys and teams that were hurt.
Their defending of the rim, I think this year has been a little different too. And I know that they still prevent teams from getting there. But I mean, Philly finished, it was 58, almost 59% at the rim tonight, percentage wise, which is a pretty low mark. Miami, 68%, right? It's a really good mark. It's a pretty good mark. I should say not really good, pretty good. But yeah, I think, and to kind of piggyback on that point about how good their defense is in the half court, let's talk about that zone to get a little more specifically about tonight's game. In that fourth quarter, Spo went to a zone with Bam on the floor, which is not something that we see them. They haven't done that a lot since 22. Usually the zone is to protect Ware or protect Nico or Tyler or somebody, but I like that they did it from a position of strength, and they're like, with our best closing lineup out here, we're going to go zone. 13-2 run in that time, and it will close the door on the game and would ultimately lead to them kind of comfortably winning. Their half-court defense has a lot of pillars to it. I think, of course, Bam is the biggest one, and the way that he switches. But I think their zone is finding some footing, and I think this is a really good look at what they could do in a playoff series with the zone, right? Against a team like Maxey is incredible off the dribble, and even Davion, who's a dog on defense, who played awesome today.
Oh my God, we got to talk about Davion.
We will talk about Davion, but what a great defensive player he is. What a great head of the snake between him and Drew Smith are. Maxey got 27, 28 points tonight. Mm-hmm. Didn't shoot the ball great in the beginning, but got kind of hot there in the middle, and the zone kind of neutered the Sixers. And it's going to be an important thing for them, Franky. It was really good. Bam, they're not using their size at the top anymore. They're using size at the low. I mean, Bam's kind of in that middle of the zone, right, really low by the rim. And it's been impressive.
Well, we talked about this. This was literally what we talked about. My first appearance on Heat Beat was the zone.
2020.
Yeah, exactly. Where they put Iggy and Jay at the top of the 2-3 because their guards weren't strong defensively. They had Goran, they had Nunn, they had Tyler, they had Duncan, and they
Oof. What an opposite to what they got going on now.
Exactly. They would have to hide the guards on the bottom, and we talked about how that affects the rebounding and stuff. But it was more to be disruptive up at the top. But now their guards are strong. Their guards are capable point of attack defenders, and you can even mix up and put a guy who can be very versatile on defense, like Jaime, who's had to guard fives at times this season and does a pretty strong job fronting the post. We saw it in the Knicks game. He can play at the top of the zone. You can mix it up. Nico has been good at the top of the zone, but you can put size and not give up size at the bottom because you still have a lot more length on the perimeter, and you can play Pell at the top. You can play Norm, who's got a good base and wingspan and good hands to get some strips. I think he had a strip on Drummond inside in the game to prevent a layup. Andrew, you got Wiggins as well. Like, you can put those lean, lankier, long wingspan guys at the top and let them disrupt and not give up on the rebounding at the bottom. And Bam's a great quarterback of the defense.
The communication.
You see him. Everything.
You can hear him sometimes.
Yeah. Absolutely, you can hear him, and that's been a constant this season. Like, you hear Bam on over the mic. That's crazy, and he's been sensational back there. Like this, we thought it might be over for the Depoy, but I think Bam's got a great case this season.
I think if they keep this up defensively and they stick around a home seed, I think obviously like what Oklahoma City's doing this year is insane, and I think. Frustratingly enough for Heat fans, I think Jokic is going to get some love. I think Denver has the second or third ranked defense right now. And Jokic and the metrics really like Jokic. Again, I think it'll drive Heat fans and myself insane, but I think Bam has a real chance. And we'll see kind of what their regular season success looks like, which is gonna inform this. But again, to your point, Bam in the middle, I think gives them not just rebounding, not just shot blocking, but a guy who can contain, who can tag the roller, who boxes out, all that stuff that's really important. And it's going to be important when Hero's here, because if they're going to play more Hero, their defense is going to take a hit, and he will probably help their offense a little bit more. I mean, he's going to help their offense. And I think we've seen moments where their offense can get in the mud sometimes when they can't create, when people can't beat anybody off the dribble. And I think Tyler's going to be important to them, but defensively, they're so good right now with Drew Smith and Davion Mitchell at the point guard spot. They have to have solutions. And I think Tyler's really familiar with the zone, right? All iterations of it, because Lord knows they run a lot of it. So I think this is an important thing to monitor as we go the season. And that's why every time they have these stretches of zone that either go really good or really bad, I always put it up on the show sheet, Frankie, because I think it's important. I think that their zone is a good litmus test to what they're going to do later. Like, against Cleveland, it was interesting. I think today was really successful. They did it against New York, and against New York, they were killed on the boards for it. But it's good to we kind
Bam
of
too.
Yeah, they were missing Bam. It's good to monitor these things because it's important. And as we approach kind of the deadline and stuff like that, depending on what direction they want to go with the season, it's going to kind of be important to see what they want to do.
And real quick to end on the zone thing. I think you talked about how they don't really go to it with Bam on the floor. I think it's nice to have that weapon in the pocket to go to it. And I would honestly, we saw Bam guard on the perimeter a lot, especially when he was playing in the two big lineup. We saw him guard Maxey straight up on quite a few possessions. He was on PG quite a bit. I wouldn't mind throwing Ware in the back line and having Bam at the top. You can really be versatile like that. And
we haven't seen that look yet. That's a great point. But
we can, like, Spo can really experiment with it. And I think I'm not afraid of Bam at the top of the zone.
You know who I would like to see that against? I'd be curious against like Houston or something, right? A team that really bruises you, that's really, really physical, that has a really good offense, that a lot of their offenses offensive rebounding.
Yeah, that one you might need Bam on the bottom if Adams is in, but no, I 100% get your point.
I mean, but you could flip them either way and have Ware put a lot of pressure on whatever Sengun or whoever the fuck is out there.
And
Yeah,
Ware's
man,
been great. We haven't talked enough about Ware's hands, his deflections and stuff. He's getting his hands on a lot of balls. Shout out to Asia Wilson. But no, he's been great. Just being disruptive out there.
Chat's like Maxi didn't even try Bam. I fucking love that about Bam, bro. He's like Revis, bro. He's like prime Revis.
Yeah, his Cooper Moorhead of the Miami Heat said the other day that the only time somebody has scored in isolation was like Jokic and Luka one time each, and then Moody at the very end of the Warriors game where Bam didn't even contest it. Like
It was a 3-2.
Yeah, it was.
I remember. I actually remember the possession because I was like, that's going to count against him. I remember thinking that. But these boots have been incredible for them too. I want to talk a little bit about kind of keeping it defensively and tonight's game. Davion fucking Mitchell,
my God,
was on triple double watch, by the way. I love the like 10 10 10 10 11 12 10 11 11 triple double. It's one of my favorite things. 31 minutes, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists, like 6 in the first quarter. One turnover, went 2 for 6. Do not give a fuck about that 2 for 6. Got to the line 4 times. Heat as a team kind of struggled with the free throws tonight. Clean that up, coach. But dude, what needs to be said? A tough assignment, right? That's one of the hardest assignments that he's gonna have. I think a guy like Maxi's so fucking fast, so quick. You got to have quick hands. You got to move your feet. And guarding a guy like that's a team effort. I thought he did really, really well. I thought just altogether another really important game for him. He had a couple layups trickle off. That's a bit of a theme with him. He's not the greatest finisher off his speed because he has real incredible burst. Hopefully he can clean that up a little bit. But defensively, I mean, the hands to me is what really kind of separates him because a lot of guys can be quick on their feet, but moves his hands, doesn't foul.
Uses his chest defensively really well.
I love when guys foul. I don't like when guards do it, right? Because when guards do it, it's usually reaching your hand in the cookie jar in the wrong place. It's not being physical. It's usually like ticky-tack fouls. He's really, really physical. I don't feel like he fouls a ton for as physical as he is. Had 2 fouls today, which I think is a good number. Absolutely love everything he gave them, plus 11. My GOAT.
No, all season, man, he's just been in the paint, in isolation, in transition, just gets 2 feet in the paint, forces the help, moves the ball side to side, finds everybody. And he's a guy that they've missed this archetype of a guy who's okay being not scoring every possession, not getting off ball, moving the ball, getting others in their spots, good shots, and in their comfort zone, and defending on the other end. How many years have we had the power forward in the lineup, or the 3 in the lineup have to guard the point of attack because our 1 can't guard, our
Haywood
2 can't
Highsmith,
guard.
Jimmy Butler,
Caleb Martin,
PJ
Tucker,
Derrick Jones Jr., Justice Winslow, James Johnson,
year.
LeBron James.
Yeah, it's been years and years and years of this.
Jay Crowder.
But now we have a guy who can be more of a traditional point guard, move the ball, get his assists. He doesn't need to score every night. There are nights where he will throw out an 18-point game here, and his decision making has been fantastic. He's picking his spots so fucking well. And then the one thing that you're having a point guard who can guard point of attack lets you be more traditional in other spots. You don't have to
helps
play
your
small.
rebounding.
It helps your rebounding because your bigs aren't out of position. Bam doesn't have to switch with his guy every single time. And when
he loves to. No,
they do. But Davion does a great job not being a mismatch inside because he uses his hands well. He takes charges.
When they go low, like when they do switch and they flip the possession and that guy gets the ball and takes that dribble down,
swipe.
Not like there's a certain Sixer that I'm not going to name because everybody makes fun of me when I do, was incredible at getting that ball when the big goes down off those switches. And I think Davion, to your point, is really, really excellent at that.
Yeah, Davion and Drew both great at that. And that helps them because
physical.
And Norm as well. Norm, like those three, like they're physical, they're stocky. Like Shaban talked about Norm's legs and lower body the other day, but that really helps them on mismatches inside when they switch, because it's not just Bam switching like they.
What's with these former Raptors have great hands, great on switches.
BBL Lowry,
former Raptors.
Yeah. Happy retirement, Kyle.
DMP from the coach today, which, by the way, the fuck, man, I can't see my goat. I was excited. I dressed with a collar today and everything, and I didn't get to see my goat play. What the fuck?
No, but Davion was a big reason why Maxey 27 points, but 20 on 23 shots. Didn't get to the line much. Like they did a great job as a team. They also did a really good job on Grimes, who's had a really strong season. Grimes, when he finished 15 on 6 of 14 from the field, like that's fantastic. They did their job harassing these guards on the perimeter. McCain, PG had a rough game. McCain couldn't get open, was getting frustrated. Like they did a really good job. Maxey, is a tough cover for most guys, like you said. But he was one of the minus 14 in his minutes. Like that's a win every step of the way.
I want to say something. You said PG had a rough game. I thought there was a world today where Drew Smith outscored Paul George. Paul George had 10, Drew Smith had 9. We were a basket away, man. He had a 3 that he made in that he stepped out of bounds. We were one basket away from the dream happening, the ultimate slander. Real quick, I saw somebody say this in chat earlier while we're on the subject of Davion Mitchell. Torre said no one mentioned that Davion's like 100% on middies. His mid-range is crazy. He's shooting 50% from the mid-range this year.
That's crazy.
Huge. What percent is that? 81st percentile from mid-range, and really incredible. And I think, again, because he's so fast, he can use that speed to kind of get guys on their heels and use that pull-up. He's really good about that. And again, the more diversity that the offense has, the better. He's actually not even that bad a finisher. He's 68%, 67% ish, 64th percentile. Not great, not bad. Hopefully that can get a little bit better. I mean, he's been better. I mean, he's kind of been a poor finisher last year at 59%, the year prior, kind of 68%. So we're kind of around that number. Hopefully he can get better. What are you laughing at?
Chat says he's 5'9" and killing it in the mid-range.
That's fine. I'm a big fan of him, and I'm really glad that they gave him a longer term deal, and that he's here. He's such a Heat player, man.
Only 2 years, time to extend them.
I'd extend him now, bro. I would literally go to him now and be like, "Hey, you want to?" I don't know. If they can,
I guess to just quickly on it, because since you have Drew on a 3-year deal, super cheap deal for Drew, he should fire his agent.
Bro, he was coming off a fucking ACL, and
he got like the minimum. That's the
bro. He came off like a million knee injuries. Like his fucking
making any money. Honestly, we thought it was a risk still because of the years, but
I thought this was a Make-A-Wish situation with Drew Smith.
Dude, he's 28. He might never get a payday. Drew, that's a steal for the Heat. But
I'm sure that they'll help him.
I mean, maybe. But Kaz is also in the wings, and he's playing better in the G League. So I can see why you don't want to invest in a guard that's not all-star level, but he's been great.
I love him. He's fantastic. And we brought up Paul George. So I think one of the things I wanted to talk about too was, by the way, as we move into Norman Powell, I got fried on Twitter for asking if Miami should look to trade Powell for a first-round pick to Detroit, because I thought the fit with him in Detroit would have been really good. They're kind of missing one more shooter, one more scorer, and everybody got really mad at me. Everybody hated my guts. Van Lee in chat said Giancarlo Liverpool lost for your Norman Powell sins. I thought about that. I mean, they lost in embarrassing fashion at home at Anfield 3-0 to Nottingham Forest. My team looks Franky, I don't know how to explain it. They're in such shambles. They won the league last year, and now they can't win a fucking game at home against a relegation scrap team. It's been pretty bad.
You talking when we were talking about Coach Carter? This is me when you're talking about Zager.
My girlfriend could not believe I didn't watch Coach Carter. She could not believe it. I was called uncultured at dinner that night.
I'm not surprised.
I mean, it's incredible work by me. Talk a little bit about Powell because he's just been incredible all season. Again, another night that he's scoring 32 off 1,000,000,000% from three, 61% from the field, just shooting free throws, 6 for 9 from the line today, which is low for him. Usually he's a really good free throw shooter. Frankie, I made this comp, and I think today's an interesting day to bring it up. I see the way he's playing right now, it reminds me of OKC Paul George because they're both so good off that pin down curl, and that is kind of like the crux of their best kind of actions, the way they thrive the most in, because they both have a good first step. They can get to the basket. They have creativity around the rim. They love to shoot off that, and they have such quick triggers off that, and they have beautiful jump shots. I think they have a similar kind of playmaking vision. Obviously, PG is more athletic, has more size, dunker, all that stuff. But I think if there's a comp, I mean, and listen, OKC Paul George was like second or third in MVP voting, right? Like he was incredible. Was he the MVP runner-up? He might have been the MVP runner-up or
he was top 3 for sure.
He was what an incredible season he had at Oklahoma City. But it kind of reminds me like 70% of that, 70 to almost 80% of that. I kind of feel like Norm is. Is that a crazy comp?
I see your point in the way they get their buckets a lot. The
explosiveness, like how fast they are going to the rim.
The
shot,
they're jump shooters and stuff. And like that's PG post injury. So he had to adjust his game a lot. But so I could see some of that for sure. I think they need to. I think he's, he has to play that way a little bit because of his lack of height. Ben Gordon, he's more efficient than Ben Gordon though.
No, but yeah, and Ben Gordon wasn't as fast. Like Powell's like sneaky, fucking really fast.
Yeah,
Ben Gordon killed Miami, bro. Ben Gordon's like all time. He would be like a first ballot Hall of Famer if it was just him against the Heat.
Microwave scorer. Like Norm does it, but in inside the arc too. Like Ben Gordon like never had a season shooting 50% from 2. Norm is shooting 51.6% from 2 coming into tonight. I think that's a strong comparison. I think his ability. I was talking about this the other day. Like, I don't think the Heat in my lifetime watching the Heat since 2003. I don't think they've had a guy who can shoot, who was this much of a threat from the outside and can get to the line to the capacity that he's done. And he's had a rough couple games, but he was shooting 90% from the free throw line. Shooting
90%.
I don't know if that counts tonight. Where he went 6 for 9.
I don't think
probably
3 misses is gonna.
Yeah.
He's very close to 50, 40, 90. By the way, he's 49 from the field, 46 from 3, and 90 from the line.
It's gonna be tough to get there because he has to shoot really high from 2 to get there.
He takes too many threes. I think it's harder now than it was in the 2000s when like Dirk and Nats were doing it.
Yeah. Because you have so many threes that are going to just tank your, even an elite shooter. That's 10 shots.
Like 46% from 3, but he takes fucking 7 a game. How many twos does he take a game? He takes 9 twos a game and 7 threes a game.
Yeah, and that's going to tank your numbers there a little bit. That's like Bam shooting 50-something% from 2, but taking threes is taking his overall field goal percentage. But he's been sensational, man. Just the threat, having a guy who can get to the line on nights when his shot's not falling, and today his shot was falling, and the free throw is usually better, so I'm not worried about that. But that boost of volume scoring, not volume scoring, but efficient scoring, where he can get you 8 points in a flurry in multiple ways. He's so deadly coming off the pin downs. They're incorporating DHOs now a little bit. And I think that's something where you can really utilize his skill set. He's fantastic in transition. Like, I can't, like, what the hell were the Clippers thinking? That was a fleece of a trade. That might be the best trade that the Heat have made since.
Clippers fans will very quickly say they could not pay him, and I understand their situation is different.
No, I know.
Miami is more likely to pay him, and it'd be less detrimental than what the Clippers have going. I mean, the Clippers are in. They have a lot of.
They were hoping Beal could do similar things, and like Beal was a good player if you don't look at his contract, but he's just been awful for
I
them.
bet you
now
even if they
hurt.
knew the result, the Clippers would do it again.
Probably, yeah. They were counting on Beal and Collins replacing that production and helping it, but
they could still move Call. I mean, the only reason they wouldn't do it is because they could probably move Powell for more now.
yeah.
But I don't think Norm would have. I mean, in a hardened offense, it's kind of hard to really kind of take a.
I mean, he did it
like
last
this.
year.
I mean,
in a hardened offense.
But I mean, now it's a super mega hardened offense again. They're running Houston Rockets
probably by necessity, though. I don't think they would have to.
Kawhi's out, and Kawhi's always out.
Yeah.
You see that Harden fans were making up. He had what did he have? 50?
55, I think.
He had 55 in a November game, and they're saying he's better than Dwayne. And I think that's so James Harden fan to do, that you have a fucking game in November that you're holding up in an all-time debate. Dwayne Wade wipes his ass with games in November. Dwayne Wade has had more important games in June than James Harden has had in his whole playoff life.
Yeah, and the argument is always he played with LeBron, he played with Shaq. Like if James Harden has played with a bunch of bozos his whole career. Yeah, James Harden had a 7-point playoff game last playoffs. Like, what are we talking about?
James Harden has played with Chris Paul in his prime,
Kevin Durant,
Kevin Durant,
half of his career,
Kyrie Irving,
Westbrook, like
prime Westbrook.
Yeah, like Paul George, like he's.
By the way, famously in that finals, the only time he's been to the finals, wet the bed.
Yeah,
Chat's right. Wade won playoff games without stars.
Yeah.
I was there when he won.
And Wade did it in an era where without spacing, like Harden did it with five guys who were threats to shoot, and Wade had Yakuba Diawara start a lot of games with him.
Franky, I promise you, when we talk about why Dwayne Wade is better than James Harden, I don't think we ever mention any specific moment in the regular season.
Real quick, chat. Also, we forgot MVP Embiid that Harden played with.
I totally forgot about that, and we're the one that sent his ass packing.
Yeah,
And by the way, in that closeout game, he played like utter dog shit
multiple times. His his last playoff game with the 76ers, 9 point in a game 7. Oh,
we were there. Dwayne in the twilight of his life, in his basketball life. Purple shirt guy. Harden never had a purple shirt guy game.
11 points in a closeout game against the Heat to lose that series.
Chat saying, and I don't want to call it like there's chat saying Harden is Mr. Empty Calories. I don't think he's empty calories. I just think
have you seen that body?
I just let's go somewhere. I just think he's not Dwayne Wade. That's okay. I saw somebody else on Twitter said, brother, SGA is in that conversation now, not Harden.
I saw that too.
And I was like, ooh, that one's gonna be scary. We gotta slow him down.
I still count SGA as a 1.
Jokic has to slow him down. Jokic, do it for the culture, buddy. Do it for the culture. Slow his ass down. We're depending on you, damn it.
Yeah. I think the Harden fans are guys who started watching basketball in 2012.
They're saying we're in Kobe conversations. I'm like rolling my eyes. I was like, bro, please be serious. How does one become a Harden fan? I understand like being a Rockets fan or something, or being a Clippers fan and loving Harden, but who's like a Harden stan? Like who's like, I follow the player Harden? I get it with like LeBron or like Steph, or even a guy like Kyrie, and even then that's like kind of like I'm barely there. Fucking James Harden, bro, the way he plays, like, is that fun? I don't know.
It's not even fun to watch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who likes
even
that?
Prime Harden was like, dude, how many more flopping and tossing it at the backboard?
Are we calling SGA a point guard?
He's the point guard on their team for sure.
I guess he's more of like the vibe is a 2 guard though.
No,
I mean, Harden, if you want to go that way, Harden's more of a point guard for his teams too.
He is. He's
like Harden's more of a point guard than a shooting guard. Like,
yeah,
pretty much
he's played
Houston.
on ball way more than especially in his great years. He was heavily on the ball. His usage was in like historical levels.
And I mean, you could say that about Dwayne too, but Dwayne didn't. I don't know. Dwayne didn't bring the
No,
ball up.
but the levels
like
of
that.
the like Dwayne's MV3 year was crazy high usage, and Harden has like 4 or 5 seasons that were way higher.
Yeah, like insane. Like literally, it was like breaking the stat kind of thing.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of clips today. I think we only have 2, which is funny. I actually didn't plan for this show to go very long because it's a Sunday afternoon. But one of the things I really want to talk about today is Franky, I'll do mine first, and then we can do yours. We've talked a lot about guarding Jaquez with centers, and Cleveland was the team that debuted that. So this is off an offensive rebound from Ware that I talked about earlier. So you see Ware on that right wing. And by the way, pod audience, I'm going to do the best job I can to be descriptive, and I'm trying to be kind with the clips and stuff because Dio audio only listeners are literally the backbone of everything that we do. We have a play here where Kel'el Ware just got an offensive rebound, and he kind of floats out to the right wing, and he's about to shoot but doesn't. And I had referenced that play earlier, and he actually gets the ball to Drew Smith, who's kind of really high up at the logo. In the scramble of the offensive rebound, Andre Drummond ends up on Jaime Jaquez, and what Jaquez does here is pretty smart, and I think is going to be important for them when teams start guarding him with centers. And again, this is Drew Smith, not Tyler Hero. So when games matter, I think we can see where this goes. So Jaquez with Drummond on him is going to set this screen over here for Drew Smith as I'll run it. So Jaquez comes, high pick and roll, kind of little slip. Look at Drummond in a drop. He's right at the nail. Drew Smith, like 2 feet off the 3-point line. Not a guy who's going to accelerate a ton. And this has more to do with Drummond. This is not to highlight the excellence of Drew Smith, but just Jaquez floats out, 2 on the ball. Jaquez is open there. Drew Smith is going to score here. But to me, the important thing is Jaime screens a big and drop when he's on him, and Miami gets a layup out of it. And I think that's important, off whether it's off a scramble like this, an offensive rebound, which again, that's when we talk about basketball IQ, that's the stuff I mean. The recognition on a short clock, there's 10 on the clock. Jaime recognizes, I got this guy on me. Let me come screen for my teammate so that he can get to the basket. That's the kind of stuff that, you know, and by the way, it was a 7-point game, you know, and this is to close a quarter. You know, like that's a really important moment where you can get it to 9, possibly to double digits, you know, if Drew got fouled there. So I just wanted to highlight that because, again, in the Cleveland game and against the Knicks, we saw teams put bigs on Jaquez, and we kind of saw him struggle a bit. And he won't get a stat for that. He won't get an assist. He won't get anything. But the recognition by him, the screening by him is what made that play happen.
No, and absolutely. And what Spo mentioned about when Jaime is guarded by a big, that there's going to be mismatches elsewhere. And other players on the team have mentioned that. You look here, when you pause right here, look who's guarding Ware on the rebounds. That's Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
Like if in this situation, you know, Drew gets a clean look at the rim and finishes, but if we need an offensive rebound there, you have Maxey guarding Ware, and that's a tough assignment for him. So that's something where they can take advantage in another way, not just on the ball.
And if this is Tyler, that's a pull-up. You know, that's a pull-up 3.
Exactly.
You know, you as a big, you can't do that. So if the team is trying to do that, lights out. And exactly. I like not a big small pick and roll. This is a guard pick and roll. The Eric Spoelstra special, the OKC special. Fontecchio, who struggled today as a good shooter, he's tagged, right? All Miami is that who's that in the corner there? Kashad in the corner. So just great stuff by Miami, man. Just great stuff by them.
And I think something about the urgency that the Heat had offensively allows them to get more space, because in a regular year like last season, these guys are sagging way off of Ware, way off of Kashad to take this off, because they're holding and they're not attacking a bent defense already. This offensive rebound, this is a quick move, quick decision. This was in less than 2 seconds.
Both
this
of
pick
them.
and roll happens.
Both of them, and an offense that doesn't screen. So it's nice when they sprinkle that in. Frankie, you had. You had,
and we haven't talked about Bam a lot, but second half, Bam had almost a double in just the second half, 9 and 9. Here he hits that corner three, comes down. They run a screen to get him off the ball. They come in back to get the ball. He's on Maxey straight up here at the top of the key on an island. Maxey doesn't even think of attack him and is stuck and just takes a flat-footed three, runs in transition here. Davion gets the rebound, hits ahead to Pell. Bam seals him under the basket, doesn't get the ball. Pell misses. Bam gets the rebound, put back. Great sequence for him where he just did all that on his own there. That catch and shoot three, 5-point swing right there. Bam Adebayo.
All him on both ends. All him. And teams do that now, as we saw. I'll kind of run that back. Teams will do that. They will screen Bam out of plays and then send a guy to the corner or something. And I just love, and Miami will even pre-switch stuff sometimes. This is in transition, so it's a little harder. So I love it, right? And even Davion on Paul George, not a horrible matchup either. And we talked about kind of the Davion Bam switches. They're okay with that. They're okay with Davion on Paul George, and they're okay with Bam on Tyrese Maxey. Forces a long, bad three. And the Clippers, we saw that possession, the entire possession of it. And I'm going to rewind, sorry, to Bam's offensive rebound. But they wasted all their clock dealing with that, right? Like, they get the ball up, and we're at 15 seconds, and they're still dealing with the Bam switching and all that and pounding the ball here. It's 10 seconds left. They haven't done anything other than do one action to get Bam out of the play. So
this reminds me of the pre-25-26 Miami Heat so much.
Oof. Except Bam is the one that's dictating the pace on defense.
Yeah,
which is what you love to see.
Great job by Pell. Be aggressive. Thought he should have looked at Bam inside with the mismatch and the seal, but great. I'll take the aggressiveness. Lets Bam get the rebound. Bam does the work early and gets rewarded with it by the basketball gods with good positioning for the offensive board and the putback, and that forces a timeout. Like that's creating possessions and effort by yourself.
He was incredible. I mean, I don't even think today was his best game or anything, but he was certainly.
He had 18 and 13, and it was like a whatever game.
Bro, everybody was like complaining about him on Twitter, like, "Oh, why is Bam playing bad?" And I looked at the box score and I was like, "Damn, like that." But just the imprint, I guess, wasn't the huge, and Ware just was fantastic today. But Franky, great win here on a Sunday. They have Dallas tomorrow. Tyler Hero maybe is returning. Big game. They finished the week. Did they win all their games this week? New York, Golden State, Chicago. A 4-0 week.
That's all you can ask for.
4-0 week going into Dallas on a back-to-back. And then they have Milwaukee on Thanksgiving Eve into a matchup with the number 1 seeded Detroit Pistons on Saturday. So 6 days from now. That's going to be a big one. Alf, your Pistons, check out Overdrive Saturday the 29th for that. Franky, just what a week. What are they in the standings right now, Miami, before we head out here? That Milwaukee game is a cup game, by the way, which is going to be a really important decider as Franky's cat or dog knocked over something.
Yep.
Miami, by the way, right now sitting 3rd in the Eastern Conference, above New York, above Cleveland, above Atlanta and Orlando. Fucking remarkable. They are half a game out of 2. Toronto is on a tear. They've won 6 in a row. Dude, what is there to say? Miami's 7-3 in their last 10. Taking care of business.
Yeah, they've got some winnable games. Good test this week. Next week on Saturday, Detroit at home. That's going to be a big test. I hope both teams are fully healthy for that. I really want to see that matchup, how they stack up against that young Detroit team that's started the season off really great. Duncan, homecoming.
I'm going to say something, Franky, as we look ahead a little bit, as we get out of here. They've won 4 in a row. Dallas, Milwaukee without Giannis, Detroit, big game. Then the Clippers after some rest. Then we have Dallas again into Orlando and then Sacramento. That I mean, we could be looking at 5,
Not-
6, 7, 8,
Sacramento, then
9,
Brooklyn too. That's a
10, 11. I mean, there's a world where they can rip off 11 straight here. I think they've shown that. I don't know. I'm impressed with them, and I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself saying that they're going to beat Detroit or whatever, but it's going to be at home. It's going to be Miami against Detroit. That Milwaukee Cup game is going to be important. But this could be a moment in the season where they have a little run. They have a little run. Chat said, G said, not 5, not 6.
This is an important stretch here, especially with Milwaukee and Detroit coming into town.
Bam versus Duran. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, they need to take advantage, and it's good for us to see how Tyler looks in the offense and in the defense. See how they manage to get by. I wonder. We don't know anything about Wiggins yet, too. He's still day to day as well, right?
Yeah, it's a hip thing with him and Jovic too. By the way,
yeah, they're both.
Listen, this is going to be an interesting stretch. They have some softballs before Detroit, and then a little bit after Detroit. So they're going to have some time to figure it out. Reincorporate Hero. I'm fucking excited, man. What a week this is going to be. Thank you, Franky, for rocking with me. Thank you, chat. You guys have been awesome this season. I want to give another shout out to everybody who's here live on twitch.tv/Miami Heatbeat and live on YouTube at youtube.com/Miami Heatbeat. Thank you to everybody who comes in live. Thank you to Omar helping with production. Thank you to Ollie helping with production, to Jalen helping with production, to Caroline helping on social media, to, of course, Franky and all our amazing co-hosts on Miami Heatbeat, and our audio listeners. First and foremost, you guys are what keep the lights on, literally. So just all love. What a great week of Heat basketball, and cheers to another guy. So we'll see you tomorrow. Heat Mavs, we got that covered. And yeah, man, Tyler Hero's return on deck.
Chad said the big matchup is Cade versus Drew.